Ginny and Aj would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land across the countries now known as Australia and the United States of America. These lands that were never ceded but violently stolen from the oldest living cultures and civilization on this planet. We would also like to pay our respects to the elders past, present, and emerging, for they hold the memories, traditions, culture, and hopes of a brighter future for us all. It's also important that we acknowledge the Gomeroi, Backkkk, Lachi Lachi, Birigubba, and Waka Waka ancestors and elders of our bloodlines, whose shoulders we stand on. Without them, we do not exist. It's through them that we carry our pride, strength, and resiliency. We must always remember that under this concrete and asphalt, these countries were and always will be on traditional Aboriginal, Australian, and Native American land.
Hello, everybody. We are so excited to be returning for season 2 of Unapologetically Black. But before we begin, we would like to give you all a little heads up. As per usual, everything that is discussed on this podcast is, personal and insights into our lived experience and preferences and likes. As usual, like we always state, we are not representative of our families or communities. I don't want an auntie calling up saying what she's saying.
Right.
We are just creating content and having discussions and creating space for other people in Australia to also contribute to these types of yarns. So speaking of yarns, Ginny, how has your break been? What have you been up to? Because guys, it's so important to reflect on what you've achieved or what you've done before we move forward.
Well,
you've been busy.
Right. Let me first start by saying, I think it felt like a really long time. I don't know if you felt like that, but I was like 2 weeks in, I was like, should we be talking? No, Gavin. Because
I was like,
it was important for us to take a break. And I think we wanted to have, a clear cut between our seasons, because I think we've also grown as human beings, even in the short space. We only did 8 episodes last season.
I know. And it went so fast.
It did go fast. I was looking at the dates that we even uploaded stuff, and I was like, wow, we banged that out. We banged it out really quickly, and I was super proud of season 1, and I'm so excited about season 2. I think that we've learned a lot more about ourselves. I think we've learned a lot more about each other. I think we've learned, we've figured out what we want with Unapologetically Black. It's been a little roller coaster, but here we are in season 2, and I could not be more proud to be here with AJ and talking about all things Unapologetically Black. But for me, that month.
I was about to say, speaking of proud, honey, because we are all proud of you. Get into the guts of it. What have you achieved? You have, in my opinion, and I'm sure many others, made history, homegirl.
Right. We got a little shout out from Vogue Australia. I've done a collab with Outland Denim, which I'm really, really proud of.
Incredible.
This piece of work is something that we've been working on since last year. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I think I talked about it in the last episode of season 1 that I was excited about doing something. This is what it was. We've come out with a tees and totes capsule. And it's all about being strong, empowered women and empowering other women. So just off the heel of International Women's Day, that capsule has been really, really special to be a part of and make. And also just seeing the success and people really loving the pieces, which is
it's been going crazy. I've seen your reposts. Everyone's loving it. And even on Outlander Denim. So guys, get behind that, because we need to support organizations that are supporting Black women.
Right. And they really are. They're really, and not just in Australia as well, but women around the country, around the world. And I think that that's important work to be doing. We need to see more people doing this sort of work. So and so true. When it does happen, I think we do kind of need to make a bigger deal out of it and encourage other people to jump on that wagon. But it's a beautiful little collection and I love it. And yeah, we got a little shout out from Vogue, so that was really nice. And yeah, other than that, like I've just been trying to keep up with my workload, but also making time to sit and yarn with AJ and figure out what this season is about. But what's the last month been like for you?
Honestly, Ginny, it has been a whirlwind, and it's like you said, a lot of internal growth, because I feel like, guys, once you complete a project, something like Unapologetically Black, or it may even be something like, you know, collaborating with your parent in any capacity, you know, building a relationship or visiting them regularly. Once you've achieved something, you really have to reflect on that. And I feel like that's been kind of what these last weeks have done for me, like just really taking time to be like, you know what, that's my French, effing awesome, you know, because I feel like, again, as women, and especially marginalized women, we just kind of normalize it, like, oh, well, you know, like, oh, yep, that was great, and we just keep moving. So that's been happening. But I do have some exciting news, guys. I've been talking about it for ages, but I have a vintage earring line coming your way. So much work has been gone behind it, but the vintage earring line is going to be celebrating Black or people of color's beauty. What is also really interesting is it's going to be celebrating non-gender binary folk. So I have a few cousins of mine that will be wearing the earrings, because I want to have a brand that is really challenging beauty standards. I'm also going to have people of all different body types wearing the earrings and modeling them, but a big focus will be people of color. And again, people of color, guys, that don't fit the normatives of what a person of color looks like. So I'm so excited. I've talked one of my cousins in already into wearing a pair of my earrings, and he was a little bit like, what do I get out of it? I was like, a pair of earrings.
It's that first, when you first start as a Black,
I was about to say,
so hard. You're like, I don't have anything to give, but if you ride with me and it works out, look, this could be great, you know.
And
I'm so proud of you.
And look at you, it's been great. And that was the other thing I was going to say, Ginny, is just watching how hard you've worked with your own brand and the integrity and the effort that goes behind it, and other sister girls online, such as Earth's Blended, and, you know, countless other Black, you know, business owners. It's been really encouraging. And I just think the sky's the limit for us women.
For sure. I have a question for you now. Let's get into it's been a little while.
Get into it, Ginny.
But we want to get into it now. What are you hoping for season 2? Because there's been a lot of hype, and a lot of people have been in my inbox asking me, when are you guys back? When are you going to start talking? I'm missing you. Someone sent me a message the other day, and like, I watched every episode twice. And I was like, that's cute.
Someone messaged me. They're like, I'm so sick and tired of not listening to you guys in my AirPods. I want you back in there. I was like, we'll be back in there so soon.
And here we are. We're back in this.
Literally, we're back now.
So tell me, what are you keen for?
So season 1, like anything, guys, we've had such success behind it. We are so grassroots. We don't have any major branding behind us, but it was a pilot, Ginny, and we kicked so many goals. We achieved so many things. So I think for module 2, I think for season 2, girl, get the university out of me, honey. I think for season 2 is just really continuing to push the boundaries of being uncomfortable for myself, and feeling confident to speak about whatever I want to and however I feel like. What about you? What are you excited for season 2?
You know, I think the same. I'm really looking forward to being a little bit more uncomfortable, because I think, like last season as well, we talked about a lot of the things that we were passionate about and have a lot of opinions on. So I think in a way, I felt like season 1 was really us in our bag, just talking about what we felt comfortable about.
So true.
Season 2, I'm really keen to talk about things that maybe I don't necessarily agree about, or I don't know. There's so many conversations to be had, and I think looking outside of the country as well, our country and the bubble that is us Black folk back in Australia. I want to talk more about Black folk around the world and what that looks like for them, but also I'm looking forward to learning more, because I feel like I'm at this space in my life right now where I'm just like, I need to know more. I have a lot more questions than I do have answers. And I think that's a nice spot to be in, because my point of view has changed my point of view, but the questions I have on things have changed so much in the last month. You would not believe. I have had access to so many things. I've been spending a lot of time on social media and different forms of social media. So now I've been on Clubhouse. I've been spending quite a bit of time in there, listening to Black folk around the world talk about issues that are important to them and trying to work through those things. So that's been really cool to be a part of and listen to, like a fly on the wall. And I think I've been in a few other different apps where I'm, you know, spending time with people, Black people from different parts of the world. And it's interesting, the sorts of conversations that happen around religion and family and culture. And I'm excited to like bring those things together and start having some important conversations. But I think
so exciting.
If people don't feel like we've grown, I'm going to be upset.
Which way? And you know what, even Ginny, speaking of growth, our little Instagram page has gone hard. You know, she's getting followers. So I'm so proud of our little social media presence, guys, and just creating a little community. As lame as that sounds, but I feel like what I love about our Instagram is it's like such a little space of positivity. Like when we get our repost, people repost our stuff, or even come in our inbox, or we chuck on and we have a live. It is such a safe space. It is so welcoming. And we are talking about issues and topics that have not even been put in the closet, guys. Issues and topics that have been, you know, thrown in the bin, you know, issues and topics that have just been seen as no value, no worth, no significance. And the fact that we're able to come and have these conversations with you guys online and just have so much love and support from people from different backgrounds, you know, different ethnic and lived experiences. This is so exciting.
Yeah. And I think as well, like, I want to bring other people into the conversation. Season 1 was very much us getting to know us and how we feel about things. And now season 2, I think, is about expanding and opening up unapologetically Black to other people. So
true.
I'm scared, low-key scared, but also really fucking excited, to see how much we grow in this short space.
True.
And I think if you're listening and watching this and you've been riding with us, this is how you can help us and be a part of our journey. We're really looking to form more conversations and have more conversations outside of just the podcast. So we are creating a Clubhouse opportunity. Is that what we're going to call it? A Clubhouse moment. So that if you are on Clubhouse, please make sure you're following AJ and I don't know what 100%. My name is on there. It's the same as my Instagram. We'll
definitely post it when we post it online, so you'll be able to find it. And Ginny, do you want to explain to everyone what Clubhouse is? Because I feel like a lot of people in Australia aren't up to par with it.
So Clubhouse basically is like, remember when you were young and you had AOL or Yahoo Chat?
Yes.
It's kind of like that, except you don't have to type. You don't have to type your responses. So basically it's an audio chat. You get in there and you chat. You don't have to cam up or anything. There's no...
Awesome.
Yeah. And so a lot of people on Clubhouse are having really important conversations. I follow a lot of different Black topical conversations.
So exciting.
And so what I have noticed though is that there is a lack of BLAK Black, us Aboriginal Australians being represented in that space. So I think we're really excited to start something in that space, just to have a greater conversation with you, Mob, about things that are important to you and that you feel like you're a part of the situation as well. So we're definitely looking at that. If you have any questions, please hit us up on Instagram. It might be a really cool opportunity to start moving into that space and having conversations. And you guys can be a part of that. All you have to do is make a Clubhouse account. And if you have any questions or you want to know more, just keep up with us, because we're going to be posting on our socials exactly how you can get involved. And so I'm really excited about using different forms of social media to invite you guys into the conversation as well.
So exciting. So Clubhouse, guys, you'll be able to jump in there and have a yarn with us. We want to hear your thoughts in the Instagram live. It's like a bit of us going back and forth, and we try really hard to engage with you guys, But over in Clubhouse, we'll be able to hear loud and clear.
It's really hard. And that's the thing, is that I love lives. I love having Instagram lives with you, but it's kind of hard to have conversations with each other. And I want to hear everyone else's opinions. Our voices aren't only going to be the voices, aren't the only voices that should be ever represented. And so we're trying to think of ways that we can involve you guys. And this is going to be it, I think, for us. But also, we are still going to be doing Instagram lives, aren't we?
Yes, 100%.
We're going to do a few of those.
We're going to keep it up.
Right.
For the people that may be not so technologically savvy, we'll be keeping regular with our usual Instagram. So you know where to find us.
Yes. Okay. So let's chat about International Women's Day, because I think
let's get into it.
We've just finished. Is it finished?
Yeah, I think she's over now. I don't know any other events that are coming up.
International Women's Day. We're on the end of that. How has that been for you?
So it's been interesting, and I feel like most things in Australia are usually like this. Like, we see a lot of positivity, we see a lot of growth and a lot of change, but then we also don't, you know, it's like we're so it was so split, you know, and that was my experience this year. So I attended an amazing event. It was put on by We Are the Mainstream, and it's the only event I attended.
I saw pictures and stuff.
Ginny, you would have loved it. You would have absolutely loved it. It was all a variety of different women, migrant background. We had a Muslim representative, Ashley Donahue, spoke on the opening panel about Black women and, you know, our experience in Australia. There was a transgender experience, I believe 2 representatives, and we also had someone that was part of the, I guess, disability space or the hearing experience or lack of. So that was absolutely amazing to hear from someone that has a disability. And like I said, I didn't see that too often. I didn't see Australia tapping into other representatives of femininity or womanhood. But it was literally amazing. It was like probably one of the best events I've been to. But what about you? What's it been like in America, but also what's it been like watching and looking over at what's happened in Australia in 2021?
I definitely don't feel like International Women's Day is celebrated over here. It's a weird I don't know, and I don't know if I'm just being ignorant, but probably because when I look at social media and what's happening, I'm looking at Australian versions of it.
True.
Because that's what feels comfortable for me.
Yeah.
But so I'm not really sure how it was celebrated over here. I don't know. I really don't feel like it was celebrated as hard as it is in Australia.
Well, even the people I follow from America, I didn't see anything big, and like the celebrities as well, like they didn't make any kind of big posts or anything. I think I saw like 1 or 2.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm like, is there a separate International Women's
Day?
Should it be called International Women's Day? I don't know. But so I was really looking at UMob over there, and I was excited to see so many people posting positive things. And we had a little chat about this before, but I think that I just hope that International Women's Day doesn't become like a Hallmark card, you know, like very tokenistic.
So true.
I hope that it's really, really, I don't know, grassroots level. But then I was sort of disappointed, I guess, if I'm honest, about the lack of men celebrating International Women's Day. Because it would have been nice. It would have been nice to see some men be like, "Happy International Women's Day!" Like they're happy to see us liberated and fucking equal to them. And I didn't see it.
We did not see that. And even Ginny, the men that I do follow, so guys like obviously larger platforms, but then also smaller guys, and like even over on my Facebook. So like that experience, I didn't see any men making any posts, any dedication or any recognition of women, but women were making so many posts celebrating other women, like if that makes sense. But it really, guys, it really, really spoke volumes. Right. And I'm sure so many people that are listening right now, like reflect on, you know, the men or the males that you follow on social media, and it was literally crickets.
Yeah, I guess they forgot that a woman got
they forgot. Literally forgot. Well,
I forgot that actually, a woman gave birth to them.
Literally, always.
Well,
but even saying that, right? So the lack of support around this date, I think it is so speaking of where we're at, and I think it's so important of like why women are taking it to social media, because I feel like women are so tired and women want to be seen and we want to get recognition and we want to be celebrated. So how does that work with the lack of support behind men and what you do, Ginny? Like, is it for me, it's like really exhausting at times because, it's like women are supporting me. Yeah. Like I'm working so hard to, celebrate being a woman. But in saying that, Ginny, our content isn't only for women. Our content's for everyone. So how do you navigate that? Like trying to, be so proud of being a woman, but the lack of support.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think in our culture that we're so used to sort of paving the way or like doing all the work that for me, I didn't even really think about it until this year. Because I mean, there's been International Women's Days before and I never really thought about it. I think even sometimes I got salty when I didn't see other women, celebrating other women. And then wait a second, there's a whole, group of people who aren't celebrating women either. So I don't know if I've really thought about it that much. But to be honest with you, like, I mean, if I talk from my business standpoint, there are a few men that I know support me and ride hard for me, which is really lovely. But I don't know if there's enough of them, and that's really unfortunate. But
so true. And we get that in our Instagram analytics. So guys, don't think we're, scrolling through. Well, I do. Don't think I'm scrolling through judging. Like this is literal statistical evidence, the lack of solidarity. And if I need to post screenshots, I will.
Right. And that's the thing is that I don't think I really ever noticed it before. And I think that is because culturally we're just so used to like having to pull 100%. Our weight and not being acknowledged for it.
It's so true because Black women out here have been doing the job. And I feel like women in other demographics around the globe as well, as we know, guys, with misogyny and how toxic it is. And with that the Western way of thinking and how the West treats women has resulted in what we're seeing right now in Australia and other westernized countries is just women being undervalued. So I feel like that's exactly what you're speaking to as a result of colonization. We're just expected to keep going. And like I said, like I feel like so many women when we create our content, like it can be saturated in, whatever feminine or girly stuff is. We know how bloody problematic that is, but we're not holding space just for women. Like even with Unapologetically Black, we've been so conscious and we do have an amazing backing of men that support our podcast. But in saying that, we don't have to compromise. We're not saying, oh, this content is only for women. This content men can join now. Everybody and anyone can join. So it's like men, you have to step up to the plate now and support. And if it's not Unapologetically Black's podcast, let it be someone else's podcast. Go and support women in another way, if that makes sense.
Exactly. There's so many people out and so many women, Black women out here doing things, especially in the podcast space.
So true.
And we need to get behind those people. So if you don't love our content, that's completely fine. But find something that works for you and go and celebrate those people. But yeah, I was really disappointed. I think as men as well, like, don't you want your sons, like say if you have sons, don't you want them to respect and celebrate women? I don't understand. And I know that there are men out there like, we don't get our own day. Well, guess what? Every day is your day.
Every damn day. The fact that you don't have to, go through what we go through. It's been your day since you were born. Like, oh my God, recognize that. But speaking of recognition, Ginny, I would like to hear, we talked about what we want for the podcast, but let's talk about 2 goals that you've set for this season. So what are 2 practical things or that you're going to be working towards? And it can be anything. It can be like structural organization, but it also can be contributing to new spaces of discussion. What are your 2 goals for this season?
I think season 2, I just want to be able to amplify as many voices as possible. And I want to create a space for people to be able to contribute to what we're doing as well and feel like they're more involved in this, in Unapologetically Black, because when we speak, we always do say that we speak on behalf of ourselves, but I'm interested in hearing other people's point of views and perspectives as well. So that there's, more people being more people being represented in this space.
So true.
Black, it doesn't just look like me or AJ or our or whatever. That we know Black fellas look all different. All different. But my second would be, I really, 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 really want to just have. What am I saying? My second one
It's hard, Ginny. And like, guys, see how we have to really go in deep, because I feel like that's another thing. It can be really hard to share, you know, what you want to achieve, because we live in a society where it doesn't matter. It does not matter your personal goals. Like, you know, most people with an online platform would say things like, we want, you know, 1,000 listeners, or we want 100K on Instagram, but we're so not motivated by that type of stuff. So yeah, like we have never sat down and discussed like, we need to get this many followers on Insta by this date. We need to have this many people subscribe, because that is not how we measure success. So speaking of, what's your second point, sister girl?
Well, I just want it to be organic no matter what. I think it at times like there have been moments where I'm like, oh my God, we could do this and this and this. And I feel very passionate about Unapologetically Black. And I do feel like we should be respected for the work that we have done both individually and together as Unapologetically Black. And I want more people to hear that, because I think not necessarily Black followers, but other people, Australia should be hearing our point of view and perspective. So I think working on that, but not necessarily that's the only way we measure success. I want it to be organic. If you don't fuck with our shit, then that's cool.
It's that simple, because it's got, like we were saying earlier, Judy, there's so many other alternatives. If we are just not your cup of tea, we're not your cup of tea. But speaking of tea, bitch, my 2 goals this year are my first number 1 is stay unapologetically Black. Okay, so because guys, we've talked about this before, we have separate pages, we have identities or businesses or things that we run, and mine are, you know, my workshops at the moment, and merging into creating something new. But staying unapologetically Black, whatever the hell I say, whatever thing I talk about in a podcast with you, but also on my other page, whatever TikTok I'm creating, and even in my fucking personal life, guys, like if I'm having a yarn to a relative, or I'm even talking to my dad, right, and I'm having an in-depth conversation with him about something that he doesn't agree with, not backing down, you know, not just being like, okay, I'm going to let you have that view and just move away from it. Because I feel like even myself, as strong as I am, if I'm coming up against someone that I respect or I really value, and I think it's such a Black fellow way, like, we'll just leave him then, like, just leave it now and we'll just move on. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to keep grappling with these conversations and these issues, and really start being more confident in what I'm saying. The second thing would be more organized, okay? Because she's a little bit all over the place. She would post at bloody 2 a.m. and then she'll post at 9:30 in the morning. So she's all over the place. So this year, bring it to Unapologetic Black is organization.
Right. And that is very true. We are very on Black time at all times. It's bad, but we are going to get there, because
we're going to get there.
We do believe in the content that we make, and we do think that it's important. So we will get it together. But I agree with you. I think your points were deadly. And I think the first one as well, like, you know, talking about staying unapologetically Black, that's such an important conversation, because again, like, you know, every episode we come on and we do a little disclaimer about we speak on behalf of ourselves. These are our point of views and our perspectives,
100%.
and that we're going to talk from that standpoint, right? I think the other thing that I really, as part of what you were saying, is I'd really love to be able to understand other people better, especially Black followers, and especially Black women, because I think that at times I have been misinterpreted for things that I've said and done, and I know that I have looked at other Black women and been like, no, you're wrong.
So true.
You know what I mean?
So true.
I think perspective is everything. And I think that, you know, we talk about Black followers and we're like, you know, I think it's all about banding together and coming together, which is definitely true. It's very important for our core culture, right? But I think we also forget that we are a culture of many different tribes, of many different
100%.
nations, and that pre-colonization, we didn't all get along. We didn't all do everything the same. We didn't all have the same laws and customs and morals and values. And, you know, we often forget that, like, I think I've said this a million times in season 1, but, like, you know, it could be as different from Germany to Italy, different languages.
So true, 100%.
And just
cultures
next to each other. And I think that it's important to I guess, validate people's differences and opinions and validate different lived experiences, and that I might feel like, no, that's the wrong thing to say. And I think there's so many topics as Black followers that we are really head to head on, you know.
So true.
Australia Day is one of those topics. True statement is one of those topics.
So true, sis.
Reconciliation is one. And I would love to hear different people's perspectives. I want to understand why you feel this way. Why do you feel, and that your experience and your opinion is validated,
so
because
true.
you are just as Black as me, if not more. We are equally Black.
100%. And but like you were saying, Ginny, and I think the other thing is, guys, is whenever we are engaging with people online, have a skill set. You know, let's hold ourselves accountable, because like you said, I'll be the person be scrolling through like, you're superficial as F. But I'm really trying to understand, why do I do these things? Why am I so quick to, you know, grapple with things like consumerism or capitalism, or, you know, exploitation of culture and these types of things, as I've been before. I'm trying to understand, you know, we are such an impoverished, marginalized collective in this country. We need to build up each other and support each other and start having conversations, if that makes sense. And if you are, guys, looking at profiles online, have a structure, have an approach to it. You know, don't take things at face value, and really understand, does this person's beliefs and what they're saying agree with you? Are their core values, you know, what you believe and what you can get behind and support? And if you can't, you can't, you know, just keep it moving.
Yeah. It's so important. And I think as women as well, like, I don't know, I'm going to take accountability that in my previous to now time, my whole life, there have been moments where I've judged other women. There's been moments where I've called other women out. I'm not a perfect person. And there have been times where I've been confronted with weird situations that I'm like, this doesn't feel very empowering of women. And I think that sometimes with International Women's Day, I'm talking about that in particular, I guess, seeing so many people, so many women being celebrated was great, but I think that at times we need to acknowledge that we may not have been perfect women. You know,
100%.
We may not have
much
done
behind that.
Yeah, and I want to explore that more. You know, 100%. I want to find out, why do we do this, especially as Black women? Why do we find ourselves in situations where it's like really heavy and really head to head? Is that colonialism? I don't know.
Period.
Is it cultural? I don't know.
And then it's even the pressure, Ginny, because I feel like we were so, like, guys, scared. I can't speak on Ginny's behalf, but I was scared to even create Unapologetically Black. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, why was I scared? Why was I so scared to get online and talk about these issues? And it's because of colonization. We have to stop being afraid, and then we have to stop, again, contributing to making other women feel afraid to be who they want to be or share what they want to share. And like you've said, Ginny, moving forward with my online experience is understanding how things could be delivered in another way. Is there other representations or other, you know, communication or communicative skills that I can use to engage with these issues? Because if we don't engage with them, guys, if we don't communicate, nobody else is.
Right. And no one learns, and we just sit here and keep doing the same thing again. So
100%.
I'm super excited about season 2. I hope that everyone sees a difference in how season 1 was and now what this season will look like. But I think I'm really excited to see what people's thoughts and opinions are. But I guess the only thing that I really want to say to you guys as listeners, as watchers of or supporters of Unapologetically Black, is like, we need your support more than ever in this season. We really want to hear your thoughts and opinions. Please don't tell us you love an episode if you didn't. Tell us.
So true.
Get
it in there. Inbox us. And just like literally write it down. Like if there's a quote or there's something that we say and you're literally there like, well, send us, let us know, and let's have a yarn about it.
Yeah, because that's the only way we're going to learn from each other. But we definitely want to hear people's thoughts and opinions echoed throughout this season.
And literally, Ginny, adding to that, guys, is download Clubhouse, become familiar with it. Ginny and I will be sharing our profiles and how to get over there, because that is how you are going to be able to yarn to us directly, is on our Clubhouse little room.
Yes, and while we do have this season pretty much mapped out in terms of topics and stuff and things we're going to talk about, we will let you guys know what they are ahead of time so that you can become engaged and let us know what your thoughts and opinions are. We have questions. If you have some questions for us, we want to hear them. We're going to read them out on here. So there's going to be lots of opportunities for you guys to be a part of the show. And we're just excited about season 2. I'm so excited. I could pee myself.
I'm so excited. So guys, this was our little introduction. This season episode of this season was us touching base and hitting the ground with you and really grounding all of us together. So before we embark on this journey, we are connected, and I'm so proud already of this episode whilst recording it. And get ready for episode 2, honey, because we are coming hot.
Yes, don't add us if you didn't love this episode, by the way, because this is the second time recording this.
Literally,
the second time recording this, but look, we really just wanted to touch base and let you know we're not dead. We are here. We've got a lot to do, but we're excited, and we want as many people as possible to come together and yarn with us. And even if you think 100%. That we're not right, then we want to hear that. Let's have a conversation.
No. And even in saying that, guys, I guess my final remarks would be, learn from the relationship that I and Ginny are navigating together, guys. We are learning more about each other and, becoming and building our friendship online and publicly. So we hope to always demonstrate ways to support and listen and hear each other. So exciting, Ginny.
It's crazy. And you know what? I have some exciting news. I'm going to hopefully be back in Australia April, May.
Oh my gosh. Are you
April,
serious?
May. Yeah. So we might be doing episodes in person soon, which is
maybe, honey.
I'm coming home. You are.
I'm coming home.
Yeah. Not forever.
Oh my God.
I'm coming home.
I'm so excited.
We'll have to think of something. Like if you guys want to come, something. I don't know. We should
do a meet and greet in Queensland.
Would people even come and meet us?
Let us know, guys, if we had a meet and greet, one in Queensland and then one in New South Wales.
What would you want to do? Get drunk? Because I'd be down for that.
God.
AJ doesn't
have a. How was I say we better be having a mad feed because Sister Girl loves to eat.
We could just eat.
Let's do it.
We could go to Sizzler.
Oh my God, let's do it.
Or the coffee club.
Or like a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yum cha.
I love eating. We could do an ASMR episode with everyone at the table. That would be
so
cool with the microphone.
Oh my God.
And we could just talk while we eat.
Oh my God, and film everyone. Okay.
Listen,
guys, let us know if you want this meeting great to happen with Ginny home. Let us know because we would love to meet you guys. So
yeah, for sure. But thanks for joining us on this episode. I feel like it was just you and I chatting and yarning.
Literally.
But
regrounding and refocusing, y'all.
We needed to do it, guys. We had to come back and just let you know that we're about that life. But we are back and ready to hit the ground running. Got lots of things to talk about, lots of people to meet, lots of things to do. So 100%. put your little seatbelt on, strap in. And get ready. Get going.
Let's get ready. We took the plunge, y'all. Welcome to season 2, episode 1.
Okay.
All right, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Unapologetically Black. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram at unapologeticallyblack. You'll find our merch, contact details, and content in the link tree of our Instagram bio. In the meantime, please share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels. As Black creators, we're incredibly grateful for your support. Big love, take care, and yarn next week.